You felt it, haven't you? That strange heaviness when you care more than the room you're standing in. When you listen deeper, stay longer, think harder, feel stronger, and still wonder if anyone would do the same for you. You replay conversations at night, analyzing tone, pauses, emojis, silences. You tell yourself you're just being thoughtful, but somewhere inside, there's a quiet fear that if you stop caring, everything might fall apart. This isn't just kindness. This is something deeper. And tonight, we're talking about it. There are people who look like they care a lot, always checking in, always available, always emotionally present. From the outside, they seem warm, empathetic, almost selfless. But what most people don't see is the silent negotiation happening inside them. The constant question running in the background. Am I enough if I stop trying this hard? Sometimes, caring too much isn't about love at all. It's about survival. Psychology tells us that excessive caring often forms early. Maybe you grew up in a space where love felt conditional, where affection arrived only when you behaved a certain way, performed well, or kept the peace. So, your nervous system learned something powerful and dangerous at the same time. Connection equals safety, and losing connection feels like a threat. Neuroscience shows that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. So, when you care too much, your brain, in being dramatic, it's trying to protect you. Over time, this protection turns into a role. You become the listener, the fixer, the emotionally intelligent one, the person who remembers birthdays, senses mood shifts, and absorbs emotional weight without complaint. You start anticipating needs before they're spoken, not because you're fake, but because you're afraid of what happens if you don't. This is where people get confused. They think you're pretending to care. In reality, you care so deeply that it starts to look performative. There's a quiet exhaustion that comes with this. You give emotional energy even when your own tank is empty. You say it's okay when it's not. You downplay your needs because you don't want to be a burden. And slowly, without realizing it, you train people to expect your care but ignore your limits. Not because they're evil, but because you never showed them where the line was. Behavioral science calls this people-pleasing, but that term feels too small. This isn't about wanting to be liked. It's about wanting to be safe. When you care too much, you're often trying to regulate other people's emotions so you don't have to face your own anxiety. If everyone around you is okay, you feel okay. If someone is distant, upset, or cold, your body reacts as if something terrible is about to happen. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people never tell you. Caring too much can quietly turn into control. Not loud control, emotional control. You try to manage outcomes, reactions, relationships. You over-explain. You over-apologize. You over-function. Because unpredictability scares you more than exhaustion. So, you keep caring, keep showing up, keep giving, even when it costs you yourself. But this trait isn't broken, it's misdirected. The same brain that makes you deeply empathetic is the one that notices emotional patterns others miss. The same sensitivity that hurts you also allows you to connect, create, and understand at a level most people never reach. Studies on highly sensitive people show increased activity in brain regions linked to awareness and emotional processing. You feel more because your brain is wired to take in more. The problem begins when your self-worth gets tangled with your usefulness. When being needed feels like being loved. When silence feels like rejection. When rest feels like guilt. At that point, caring stops being a choice and becomes a compulsion. And that's when people misunderstand you the most. They say you're too much, or fake, or trying too hard, without realizing you're actually trying to feel safe in a world that once taught you love could disappear. There's also a darker layer here. Sometimes, people who care too much don't even realize they're emotionally starving. They've been giving for so long that they don't know how to receive without suspicion. When someone offers genuine care, it feels unfamiliar, almost uncomfortable, so they deflect it. Laugh it off, minimize it, because deep down, part of them believes care must be earned, not given freely. Healing doesn't mean becoming cold. It doesn't mean caring less. It means caring differently. It means learning that connection doesn't require constant effort, that love doesn't disappear when you rest, that people who truly value you won't leave just because you stop overextending. This shift is slow and uncomfortable because it asks you to sit with uncertainty, to let people feel their feelings without managing them, to allow silence without filling it. Psychologically, this is where boundaries are born, not as walls, but as clarity. You begin to notice when your care is coming from love versus fear, when you're choosing to show up versus feeling obligated, when you're genuinely present versus performing emotional labor for approval. This awareness changes everything, because now, caring becomes powerful instead of draining. And here's the quiet realization that often arrives late at night, when the noise finally settles. You were never pretending to care. You were caring in the only way you knew how. You were protecting yourself with empathy, surviving with sensitivity, loving with a nervous system that learned early how fragile connection can feel. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. As you move forward, you don't need to harden your heart. You don't need to become distant or detached. You just need to include yourself in the circle of care you give so freely to others. Because the deepest form of emotional intelligence in endless giving, its balanced presence. It's knowing when to lean in and when to step back, when to care, and when to let go. So the next time you feel that familiar urge to over-explain, overgive, or overstay, pause for a moment. Ask yourself gently, am I caring from love, or from fear of losing connection? And what would it feel like to trust that I am enough even when I do less? If this resonated with you, sit with it, let it echo, and maybe, just maybe, start caring for yourself with the same intensity you've always given to the world.